So, even though I'm about to heavily scrutinize Phil Valentine, and I'm about to pretty much question everything that he represents and question the effect that he has on people, I don't intend to insult him personally. I'm only questioning his ideas and his business model because I do believe that Phil Valentine isn't a master teacher. I believe that Phil Valentine is the product of a very savvy businessman who realized a long time ago that there's a burgeoning market of black people who are yearning for intellectual information outside of organized religion. And he was one of the first people to create this business strategy to make as much money possibly through information hustling. One thing that I noticed, and the reason why I'm singling out Phil Valentine is because it seems like nobody disagrees with him. In all my years of being on the internet, and I started getting on the internet in the 90s, 1999. And from the moment I first discovered Phil Valentine on a VHS tape that I found in the year 2003, some guy downtown in my city was selling these lectures, and Phil Valentine had some tape, and it was on a VHS tape. I think Black Dot, he released it or something. But that was almost 20 years ago. And from that moment on, from the moment I discovered Phil Valentine till now, I've never seen anybody disagree with him. And that led me to believe that either he's in a very high position in this particular community that we call the conscious community, and he's like the father of all of these guys, and he's the one who probably influenced all of these guys to imitate him and mimic his business model. Therefore, he's you can't criticize him because he's like the creator of this whole business enterprise, or he's a government agent, and there's a reason why there's no criticism of him because the government is making sure that it doesn't happen, or the people have been led to believe that Phil Valentine is infallible, like he's a god or something because everybody in the conscious community treats him like that. All of the notable people, the famous people in the conscious community, have great reverence for Phil Valentine. Whenever they invite him on their YouTube channels or whatever, even going back to the VHS tape era in the early 2000s, they would speak to him as if they were meeting God himself. And I've always wondered, like, if you guys are a part of the conscious community, which means that naturally you're a person who seeks information. You're a person who is a problem solver. You're a person who isn't gullible. You're a person who questions things. But when it comes to Phil Valentine, these guys don't show any of these characteristics or qualities. They don't even disagree with him as a sparring match. Like have like a loving, like a love, like a just have like like a physical exercise with him where they just debate with him about something. They just sit under his feet as if he's God himself. And Phil Valentine has some very questionable beliefs. I mean, Phil Valentine tells you that there are multiple dimensions. Phil Valentine tells you that your spirit is located in your anus. That's where the most important chakra is located. And people will just sit there and just nod their head and just treat him as if he's God delivering crucial information. And the thing about Phil Valentine that I dislike the most is the fact that he's not even real. He's a business. Every time he pops up on some sort of platform, he's advertising and promoting everything that he has to offer at that particular moment. Oh, I've got this particular lecture combined with this other lecture that I did. I have a special deal going on right now. You know, if you buy one, you get one free. I'm going to be appearing in this particular place. You know, tickets are on sale now. Go to this particular website to buy them. I mean, it's all business. It's all business. You know, he comes on these public platforms and gives you a little bit of free information so that he can promote all of the paid events that he has coming up and all the paid services that he has on his website. He even operates a university. It's not a real university, it's just a university that you can sign up for if you want to take Phil Valentine's curriculum. And he always talks about how his upcoming lecture or his university contains crucial information that black people absolutely need in order to survive all of this multi-dimensional warfare that's happening in other planes of existence or densities of existence, as he says. But everything is for sale. I mean, you can't access this stuff unless you pay a hefty sum. And these guys don't do charity work. They don't do anything for free. Everything that they do costs money. So that shows me that this whole concept, this whole construct of Phil Valentine and the conscious community is just a business model. Create a character, give that particular character a specialty. Okay, my guy is going to be an expert in metaphysics. Your guy is going to be an expert in Islam. And okay, sell stuff. I mean, because black people, I mean, we already spend enough money. We're the only ethnic group, racial group in America that spends a majority of its GDP on materialism. You know, the majority of the money that black people spend isn't used for investment. It's used to buy things and stuff. So here we have these guys who are supposed to be these spiritual fathers of the black community coming in to sell us even more stuff. And they claim that this stuff is so crucial, it's so absolutely necessary that we won't be able to live sufficiently without it. But you got to have a bunch of money to pay for it. And it's just odd. It's just odd and nobody questions a guy like Phil Valentine. You know, and if you do criticize him or question him like I'm doing, you're probably going to get a lot of hate for it. You're probably going to get a lot of comments from people who support him or people who are incapable of thinking for themselves, you know, getting upset with you. Or people just probably are so entranced and so hypnotized by the conscious community that they probably never even thought about criticizing him because they're in such awe of him. And I just think it's sad. You know, these guys, and they do well. Phil Valentine has not worked a regular job probably in the last 40 years because he's benefited from the conscious community. You know, he's always been able to survive financially from his information. So these guys have careers. They're implementing business models. These guys all have LLCs. These guys all have their own companies. They're not people who are here to uplift black people because we're in the age of Aquarius, as Phil says all the time, and this is such a pivotal time for black people. No, these guys create businesses. They pay taxes on their businesses to the country that they claim is so satanic and so demonic. And it's just odd, man. It's just odd that nobody ever questions this kind of behavior. I mean, if you guys are fine being customers, if you understand something that I don't, like, hey, this is just the conscious community is a form of entertainment. These guys are pretty much entertainers, but instead of entertaining us with mindless substance, they give us good substance. They give us entertainment that we can actually be educated from, edutainment, as they say. Then okay, I understand that. Instead of watching rap videos, instead of playing basketball to entertain yourself, you can actually learn some intellectual things. But that's not how it's presented. These guys are presenting themselves as being the answer to every problem that black people have. But in order to have access to that, you have to pay them and help them live these comfortable financial lifestyles. Like Phil Valentine lives very well. I'm pretty sure he pulls in more than 6 figures a year, but he doesn't do anything for free. He doesn't do anything charitable. Everything costs money. And in the conscious community, it's named the conscious community. Nobody has ever sat down and thought, if these guys are so crucial to the future of black people, to the development of black people, why are these guys all CEOs of their own companies? Why is everything that they're involved in licensed as an LLC? Why are they paying taxes to America on their businesses? How come these guys aren't going to Chicago to help alleviate the murder problem? I mean, Chicago has 1,000 black youths getting murdered a year, and the killers go on the internet and brag about it. But instead of going there to help, they rather sell us some lecture for $40. And I don't get it. I don't get it. This is supposed to be the conscious community, but I guess everybody's unconscious when it comes to Phil Valentine. I don't know. But like I said, this is no knock to him. This is just me sitting back and analyzing like a conscious person should. Why is this guy thriving as a business, but people are treating him as if he's not a businessman? Peace.